Complicated question.
I'm a storyteller basically, so I'm going to tell you a story from India that was told to me by the director of the Water Institute at Columbia University. He told me that in India we believe that the Green Revolution came because of the building of this dam called the Bhagirath Dam after India's independence from the British. And I believe that too. And he said that in people's minds, the greenery suddenly came out of the ground because the dam stopped water of a river and there was lots of water where the dam was built. But in reality, the dam made electricity possible, which then made pumps possible in the farms of the Punjab. And then farmers suddenly realized that they could grow bumper harvests and 2 harvests a year based on the water that they were pumping from the ground. And according to this gentleman, in the 50 years that have gone by, the water level, the groundwater has plummeted 400 feet in the Punjab. So what has happened? So this is history. The wealthy farmer in Punjab who drives a Mercedes-Benz is no longer a farmer, is a landowner who is trying to develop his land into real estate. His houses of farmers now typically have an aeroplane on top of the houses as a signifier of someone in the house who lives somewhere abroad and probably sends back money. And the laborers from the state of Bihar, which basically suffered because of land tenancy laws. So when a father died, he gave the land to his 5 sons because he needed to have sons who worked the farm. So the land would get subdivided into 5 and so on and so forth, to a point where it was no longer tenable for these people to stay in the state. So they became laborers in the Punjab during the Green Revolution. So now the erstwhile Punjabi farmer is buying land in the state of Bihar and consolidating it and sending back people who were his laborers to manage their farm on their behalf, and they're absentee landlords making a transition into being real estate owners. It's a story of water and what happens and how water informs society and its reformation.
I have a question about water, how to deal with water shortage skeptics. So you can use this from like an economic feasibility standpoint, maybe from a chemistry standpoint, but how feasible are techniques like desalination? Because some people who claim that there's no, I've heard people say water shortage should not be one of our environmental priorities, that desalination will save us. What do you say to people who make that kind of claim or about this kind of issue?
Well, desalination is not a problem. We know how to do it. There's a cost to it, and so the cost associated is an energy cost. It's environmental costs. There are all sorts of issues surrounding that. And if you live in the center of the country and not near one of the coasts, you don't have a source to desalinate. So, yeah, there's a lot of water. There's a whole lot of water out there. And there's a lot of salt water out there. Whether it means that we can use water at the rate that we are, I think that's foolish to think we can. And the wealthiest countries are able to build desalination plants, and that will probably continue as well. But again, you have to be near that source to some extent, or the price goes up pretty dramatically as you try to get it to other parts of your country.
I'd add to that here in York County, you guys use about 4,000 gallons of water a month per house. 4,000. California, and here we have plenty of rain, plenty of water. California, you saw some of that in the video, in the documentary. They use, on average, some parts of California, 15,000 gallons per month. So they don't have the water. They use way more than they need, and we're all paying for it in subsidizations of dams and those canals and everything like that. And I will say, the downside of desalinization is, as Dr. Ford said, tremendous electric costs. Right now, even without desalinization, California, the entire state, 20% of the electricity in the entire state of California goes to moving water. Now imagine what that would be if they were desalinating. Just a tremendous carbon footprint, more power plants, and you know the consequences of that.
Well, about the bottled water thing, well, the U.S. uses a ton of bottled water. I think one of the biggest reasons we use bottled water that I don't think was mentioned was convenience. I mean, if you buy like a big package thing in Costco, it's about 10 cents each. And if you ask me, a college student, that's not much at all. Like, that's really little. Not only that, but with all the jobs moving away from the U.S., there's less jobs in the U.S. So wouldn't the water companies not only provide us with convenience or more than we need to pay for, but also provide jobs, which is good for the economy?
Oh, can I start? Yeah, so you said 10 cents a bottle. So a case of, well, this, again, is less than a penny a gallon. So this is probably, 0.02 cents.
Yeah, but I think I'm willing to pay 10 cents to not walk out here, out of the conversation, and go to the
Convenience is one thing, and laziness is another. You buy this once and refill it at the water fountain, and you count them tomorrow. How many water fountains you walk by and think to yourself, I could just fill my water bottle over there, and add up those 10 cents, and you'll get a nice meal at the end of the week. And as far as the jobs, as water bottlers, they'll find jobs somewhere else. It's an industry that does not need to exist as big as it is right now.
There's also the issue of all the water bottles that you're using, and how many times do you walk by a recycling container and put that empty one in?
Actually, I save it all up, and then I put it on at once.
Well, I'm proud of you. That's a good way to handle it, but you're still adding to the carbon footprint by using this.
I bet a lot of people feel better by using bottled water because of recycling, so they think it's more okay or something.
Recycling still costs money.
But I'm a lazy person, so I'm not that kind of person, but I kind of recycle just to help a little.
But you know what? These days, I believe, I'm a old person, but I believe it's really much more stylish to carry a water bottle.
Well, also, after I'm done with this, I don't have to carry it around with me. I can just throw it away. I like either like the
Let somebody else talk.
person.
Let somebody else talk.
Being this year is the International Year of Chemistry. And the point of this year is to show how chemistry can help with the environment and all that and everything. I guess the biggest thing that I can see is like the conservation of water, and like even you can say like the purification and everything. Like what can us chemists do in basis of like like I said, conservation and even to find better ways of purifying our water, even for more efficient and cheaper ways to purify our water.